You have wept over what was taken. You have mourned the time that passed, the love that faded, the dreams that slipped through your fingers like dust. You've stood in the silence of loss, wondering if anything beautiful could be born again from the ashes. And yet, here I am, speaking softly in the place where you thought I had gone quiet. I never left. I never changed my mind about you. And I have not forgotten what was lost. The years, the hope, the parts of your heart you had to bury just to keep moving forward. You thought it was over. You thought that once something was broken, it could never be made whole. But I am not the God of endings. I am the God of restoration. I am not here to just comfort your grief. I am here to breathe life into the very places where grief once reigned. I saw you in the moment when you gave up on the story. When you told yourself it was too late. When you stopped praying for what you once believed with all your heart. But even then, I kept watch over the seed you planted in faith. Even if it never grew in the season you expected, it did not die. It waited. For me. For my timing. For my breath to return what seemed buried. And now, I say to you, I will restore what was lost. Not as it was, but better, fuller, richer, woven with glory. I do not return things to their former state. I transform them. What the locusts have eaten, I will repay, not with the same fruit, but with greater harvest. What the enemy tried to destroy, I will rebuild, not with fragile walls, but with fortified foundations. You thought you were forgotten, but you are being remembered in heaven's timing. There are prayers you thought went unheard, but I bottled every tear. There are dreams you abandoned, but I have preserved them, hidden like treasure beneath the soil of waiting. You did not waste your pain. Even when you couldn't see me, you were being shaped in the shadows. And now the light is beginning to break. Slowly, softly, but surely. Can you feel it? Not everything is lost just because it changed. Some things had to fall apart so I could remake them in truth. Some things had to be stripped away so I could restore you with what will last. You will not be empty forever. You will not grieve every morning. You will not carry the weight of disappointment like armor. I am peeling it off. I am waking your heart. I am whispering dreams again, gently, carefully, until you trust them enough to hold them again. Let me restore you, not just with things, but with vision, with purpose, with the assurance that your life is still on holy ground. Even here, even now, there is nothing wasted in my hands. Not time, not failure, not even sin. For where repentance blooms, redemption rushes in. I know the cracks in your soul. The ones hidden behind strength and silence. The ones that whisper, it's too late. But I am the God who makes all things new, not just once, but again and again, until you learn how deeply I love you. Do you not know? Do you not see? I restore not only what was taken, but what you never thought you could have. The peace you've never known. The love you've never believed you were worthy of. The laughter that felt too distant to remember. I am restoring even that. Even the intangible aches that have no name, I am meeting you there. Your loneliness is not ignored. Your heartbreak is not overlooked. Your delay is not denial. I am moving in the unseen. Do not mistake my quiet work for absence. This is a sacred rebuilding. One that cannot be rushed. But one that will be worth every second you waited. I will restore what was lost, and in the restoration, I will reveal what was always meant to be yours. Let hope rise again, even if it trembles, even if it feels fragile. Let it rise, because it is time. The season is turning, the light is changing, and I am still the God who keeps his word. The world told you that restoration means getting back what you lost. But I tell you, true restoration means receiving what could not exist before the breaking. Before the loss, before the fire. The gold I am refining in you is not found on the surface. It is formed in the furnace. And you, beloved, have walked through that fire. But you are not burned. You are becoming radiant. You are learning to see with different eyes. To hear my voice in different tones. To walk, not by sight, but by the stillness of knowing you are loved. I will restore what was lost, but more than that, I will restore who you were before the loss taught you fear. Before the disappointment taught you to shrink. Before the betrayal taught you to hide. Let me restore you to yourself. To the version of you who knew how to dream. To the child who dared to believe in beauty. To the soul who wasn't afraid to be seen. I do not just restore circumstances, I restore identities. I lift shame. I breathe life into dry bones. I speak over what others have called ruined and I call it rising. You are rising, not in your strength, but in mine, and every step is taking you closer to the promise I have not forgotten. So pause here with me. Let these words settle. Let them heal. And let your heart begin to imagine again. What if it's true? What if restoration is not just possible, but already beginning? If you've been blessed by these words and you feel them stirring something deep inside you, I gently invite you to pause and share this moment. Like, comment, share, or subscribe, not just for yourself, but for someone else who needs to hear this whisper of restoration. Let hope spread. Let faith find its echo in hearts still waiting for renewal. And now, return with me. Come back to the stillness where I speak. Let the noise fall away. Let the opinions, the timelines, the pressure of performing, let it all go. I am not asking you to impress me. I am asking you to receive me. There is more for you. More than coping. More than surviving. More than holding your breath and waiting for life to be less hard. I have abundance for you. Peace that makes no sense. Joy that bubbles up even in sorrow. Love that anchors, not because it fixes everything, but because it holds you no matter what breaks. I am not a God of fragments. I am the God who mends. And I do not patch things. I recreate them. I write new endings. I make beauty where there once was mourning. Let me whisper this into your soul. You have not missed it. You are not behind. What is meant for you will find you. What was ordained for you is not lost forever. I will restore it, even if it looks different. Even if it comes through unexpected ways. My hand is still sure. And my plan is still good. There were moments when you thought silence meant absence. But silence has always been one of my holiest languages. It is in the quiet that I rebuild the soul. It is in the stillness that I speak identity. And now, as you slow down enough to listen, you will hear me saying what you thought was lost forever. You are loved. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are not too far. You are not too late. I will restore the laughter you forgot how to release. I will restore the strength that was drained from trying too hard. I will restore your ability to trust again, slowly, gently, at the pace your heart can bear. I know the parts of you that flinch when love comes close. I know the walls you built to survive. I do not condemn them, I understand them. But I am coming to be with you behind them. To sit in the places where you've hidden the deepest parts of your pain. And I will not rush you out of your cave. I will sit with you in it until my presence becomes your courage. I do not force restoration, I invite it. And my invitation to you is tender and real. Let me restore what was lost. Let me begin in the unseen places. The sacred spaces no one else knows how to enter. Because I know you. I always have. And I am not going anywhere. There is no timeline in my love. No expiration on your destiny. What I spoke over you is not forgotten because you failed, or feared, or fell. My promise is not fragile. It is not intimidated by your delay. And it is never cancelled by your detours. You are still on holy ground. Even in the mess. Even in the questions. Even when nothing looks like what you imagined. I am writing a redemption story that only I could author. And the next chapter begins with these words. I will restore what was lost. Not just what was visible, but what was buried. The laughter in your bones. The wonder in your eyes. The spark in your soul. The parts of you that used to believe in the impossible. I'm not asking you to go back and try harder. I'm asking you to come closer and rest deeper. Because restoration isn't about effort, it's about surrender. It's about breathing again. And letting me hold the pieces you no longer know how to name. I am not afraid of your broken places. I am not ashamed of your sorrow. I do not turn away from your ache. I step into it. And I say, This will live again. Not because you forced it, but because I spoke it. Because my breath is enough to bring life where death once reigned. And my love is enough to call you whole. Even when you still feel scattered. I have always worked through impossible stories. I've raised the dead, opened barren wombs, turned prisoners into kings. I haven't changed. And I haven't given up on what I started in you. Even if others walked away. Even if time has passed. Even if your own voice began to doubt what once felt so sure. Let me be the voice that anchors you again. Let me be the breath that revives what was fading. Let me be the hands that rebuild your faith, not in the outcome, but in me. Because I am faithful. And I am near. Even in the undoing. Especially in the undoing. You may feel like everything fell apart, but beloved, some things had to fall apart so that nothing could separate you from what truly matters. And now, the rebuilding begins. With stillness. With surrender. With the gentle awareness that I'm already moving. You don't have to force it. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to get it all right. You only need to stay open. To stay present. To let me meet you where you are, not where you think you should be. Because I never needed perfection to do miracles. I just needed your yes. And your yes, even whispered through tears, still has power. So whisper it again. And let restoration begin. There are chapters still to be written. Songs still to be sung. Smiles still waiting to stretch across your face. You are not at the end of your story. This is not the final word. The pain has shaped you. Yes. But it will not define you. It will not be the banner over your life. What will be written over you is this: restored, redeemed, replanted in fertile ground. For what you thought was over is only the beginning of something deeper, richer, eternal. You may not understand it now. You may not feel ready. But restoration doesn't wait for readiness. It moves with mercy. And my mercy is new every morning. So open your heart again. Open your hands again. Let yourself believe again, not because you know how, but because I do. Because I know how to bring beauty from brokenness. I know how to speak light into the chaos. I know how to gather the pieces and make them whole. And I want to do that for you. I am already doing that for you. Let me continue. Let me finish what I started. Let me restore what was lost, in ways that leave you in awe of how loved you are. So come to me, all who are weary, not just the tired in body, but the tired in soul. The ones who have smiled through heartbreak. The ones who have stood in rooms full of people and still felt alone. The ones who have given and served and prayed, and still wondered, did I miss it? I see you. I know how heavy it's been to keep walking without clarity. I know how painful it is to keep hoping without seeing. But I promise you, nothing has been wasted. Not a step. Not a tear. Not a single breath of faith. I will restore what was lost. Even if it takes time. Even if it comes slowly. Even if it doesn't look like what you thought you wanted. Because my plan was never to give you a lesser version of what you lost. My plan has always been to give you something better. Stronger. Built on truth. Anchored in love. Formed in fire. But shaped by my hand. Let me do it. Let me work where you can't see. Let me show you what I see in you, the strength. The courage. The softness that survived the storm. You think you're too broken to be used. I say, you are perfectly positioned for glory. Because my glory is not revealed in the flawless, but in the faithful. And you, beloved, are still here. Still breathing. Still chosen. Still mine. Restoration is not a return to what was. It is the revealing of what was always meant to be. The version of your life that is not tainted by fear. The version of your future that is not shaped by shame. You were not created to live in constant recovery. You were created to live in resurrection. I am not just giving you back your voice, I am giving it power. Not just giving you back your joy, I am giving it depth. Not just giving you back your strength, I am giving it purpose. Everything that hurt you will not go to waste. It will become testimony. It will become fuel. It will become beauty in the hands of the one who never let go of you. Let me speak this softly. You are worthy of restoration. Not because of what you've done, but because of who I am. And I am the restorer, the renewer, the one who gathers the scattered and plants them again, stronger, deeper, nearer to my heart. Do not measure what's coming by what was lost. Measure it by my love. And my love is immeasurable. So is what I'm about to do in your life. There is a quiet rebuilding happening inside of you. Even when you can't feel it. Even when you don't recognize it. Even when your emotions say otherwise. I am restoring the soil of your soul. I am softening what was hardened by survival. I am tending what was trampled by grief. I am nurturing the places that forgot how to grow. You will not live numb forever. You will not stay stuck in cycles of doubt and despair. I am unraveling the knots of fear that have choked your hope. Gently, kindly, with the patience of one who sees the whole picture. You only see the thread. I see the tapestry. And I promise you, there is color coming back. There is beauty being woven in. There is meaning in the waiting. Let me restore your heart, piece by piece, not in a rush, not with pressure, but with presence. Let my love settle into the places that ache the most. Let my voice be the one that guides you back to yourself. Back to the you I always knew. The one who still believes. The one who dares to trust again. The one who will rise, not in spite of what was lost, but because of how I've chosen to redeem it. There is no wound too deep for me. No history too broken. No past too dark. I specialize in the impossible. And I speak to what seems beyond repair and I say, live. I speak to what others discarded and I say, rise. I speak to what was lost and I say, return. Not empty, but full. You will know joy again. Not the fleeting kind, but the rooted kind. The kind that knows where it comes from. The kind that cannot be stolen because it is not based on circumstance. I am restoring that. The ability to rejoice even in the rain. To trust even when there's no map. To love again without fear of loss. Because this is not a restoration of things, it's a restoration of being. Of becoming. Of belonging. You belong here. In this moment. In this healing. In this story. You are not a footnote. You are the center of the page where I am writing redemption. So let the ink flow. Let the next chapter begin. And let your soul say yes to what I am doing, even if you don't understand it yet. Because I do. And that's enough for now. There is a tenderness in my timing. You may want the finish line, but I am forming you in the journey. You may long for resolution, but I am writing revelation. Restoration is not a destination you arrive at, it is a rhythm you live in. A holy exchange. A divine dance between letting go and receiving again. You've been emptied. You've been poured out. But you will be filled again. With purpose. With clarity. With light that does not burn out when the world grows dark. That light, it's me in you. The fire that does not consume. The voice that never condemns. The hand that lifts you from the dust. Again and again and again. Let me do it one more time. Let me lift you. Not so you can strive, but so you can see that you were never abandoned. That even what was lost had a place in the greater story. That the pain you carried will become the soil from which new life grows. Do you see it? It's beginning even now. A flicker of hope. A glimpse of green in barren places. This is not a fantasy. This is the fulfillment of everything I promised. I will restore what was lost. Because I am not done. And neither are you. There are pieces of you that you thought were gone forever. Moments. Innocence. Possibilities. But I am the God who remembers what you forgot. Who protects what you abandoned. Who revives what you buried because it hurt too much to hope. I am not asking you to dig it up. I am asking you to open your heart. Because I am already reaching into the ground where the seed was planted. And I am calling it forth. Not in your power, but in mine. Not on your schedule, but in my sovereignty. Trust that. Trust that I know what to do with the ruins. I know what to do with regret. I know how to build where others said there was nothing. And I know how to restore what you thought no one saw. I saw it. I wept with you. I held space for you. And now I say, arise. Come forth. Let restoration begin again. Because your story is not over. And what I'm writing next is drenched in hope. Hope that holds. Hope that heals. Hope that lifts your face and reminds you, you're still part of a promise. And I will not break it. So lift your eyes, even if they are filled with tears. Lift your hands, even if they are trembling. Lift your voice, even if it cracks under the weight of waiting. Because something is shifting. Not out there, in here. Inside your spirit. Inside your trust. Inside the still space where I dwell. I do not need loud declarations to move. I move in whispers. And my whisper is this: I am restoring you. Not to what the world says is success. Not to what others say is impressive. But to the you I created. The you that walks in peace. The you that breathes with freedom. The you that knows you are loved even on the worst days. That is restoration. To return to the truth. To be rooted in grace. To be steady in storms. And this is where we begin again. With no striving. With no shame. With no requirement except this: come. Come as you are. Come with what you have. Come with the pieces. And let me show you what I can do with them. Because this is not the end. It is the threshold of something holy. And I will walk with you through it. Let me remind you what I said in the beginning: it is good. You have walked through loss that made you question that truth. But I am still the same God who speaks light into voids. Who speaks form into chaos. Who speaks comfort into cries. And I am still speaking. Not just to your situation, but to your soul. You are not too tired to rise. You are not too wounded to be well. You are not too late to see the miracle. So let the words settle. I will restore what was lost. I will return joy where grief has lingered too long. I will restore the rhythm of rest to your days. I will restore the dignity of your dreams. I will bring back beauty. Not in the same wrapping, but in the depth of your becoming. You are being made new. Not in the absence of your scars, but through them. You are being healed. Not by forgetting the pain, but by seeing what I can do with it. Let me in. Let me near. Let me speak what others silenced in you. The old voices said, this is your fault. I say, this is your rising. And it starts with one breath. One yes. One moment of trust that maybe, just maybe, I'm restoring it all for good. Restoration is not always loud. Sometimes, it looks like tears finally released. Sometimes, it sounds like silence that no longer feels empty. Sometimes, it feels like breath returning after a long time holding it in. I am in those moments. I am in the soft, slow returns. I do not rush holy things. And you are holy to me. Your story is sacred. Even the pages you tried to rip out. Even the chapters you wish you could erase. I use them all. I redeem them all. I restore them all. So do not despise what broke you. Do not curse what left you shattered. Because I am the one who gathers every shard and shapes stained glass out of it. Windows of wonder. Reflections of glory. Proof that what tried to destroy you became the very thing I used to deliver others. Yes, even your wounds will shine. Even your past will sing. Because I restore not just what was lost, but what was silenced, suppressed, and shamed. And I call it all beautiful in my hands. Trust me with it. I am making something eternal. Let me remind you what I said before time began. You are mine. Before the loss, before the fear, before the years that seemed wasted, you were mine, and that has never changed. I claimed you when no one saw your value. I chose you when others overlooked you. And I have never once changed my mind. Even when you doubted, even when you drifted, even when you felt like giving up, my hand never let go. And now I say again, come closer. Let me restore what time tried to steal. Let me return the wonder to your worship. Let me renew the softness in your soul that once dared to trust fully. You are not too old. It is not too late. I am not limited by human clocks. I do not move according to your calendar. I move according to love. And love says now. Now is the time to receive. Now is the time to open again. Now is the time to watch what grows in the soil of surrender. Because it is fertile. It is ready. And so are you. There is healing happening even now, not just in your body, but in your spirit. In the unseen places where hope was bruised, where trust was broken, where your voice was taken, I am restoring all of it. Not in haste, but in wholeness. You will walk again in confidence. Not the kind that needs applause, but the kind that comes from knowing who you belong to. You belong to me. And because of that, restoration is your inheritance. Wholeness is your birthright. Peace is your portion. So do not be afraid of this rebuilding season. Do not resist the slowness. Every brick matters. Every step counts. Every tear waters the ground you'll walk on. And you will walk. You will rise. You will speak again with fire. You will sing again without shame. You will love again without fear. Because I have called you to fullness. Not to fragments. I have called you home. And home is not a place, it's my presence. And my presence is here. Here in the healing. Here in the quiet. Here in the restoration that cannot be reversed. You've been carrying so much. The weight of memories. The burden of questions. The ache of prayers that felt unanswered. But I see the weight. And I say, you don't have to carry it alone anymore. Let me hold what you've held in silence. Let me lift what has bowed your back for so long. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to perform for love. You are already loved. Completely. Unconditionally. Permanently. And in that love, I restore. Not only the external, but the internal, your sense of worth. Your rooted identity. Your childlike awe. Yes, even that will return. You will look at life again with wonder. You will expect goodness again without flinching. You will feel safe again, not because of circumstances, but because of communion. I am restoring connection. To yourself. To others. To me. And this connection will be the foundation on which joy will rise again. Not a fragile joy, but a joy forged in the fires you survived. A joy that knows how to last. Because I am the one who gives it. And I do not give as the world gives. I give forever. There is more coming. More than survival. More than moments of relief. There is overflow. Abundance. A deep wellspring of life that cannot be stolen, shaken, or shut down. I'm leading you there. Not to a destination on a map, but to a reality within your soul. A place of steady peace. Of rooted confidence. Of unwavering hope. You will become a well for others. A living testimony of what I can do with the surrendered. Not because you never bled, but because you let me heal you. Not because you were perfect, but because you let me be enough. And I was, and I am, and I will always be. Let me write this truth over every wound. You are not what happened to you. You are what I'm restoring in you. You are not defined by the loss. You are marked by love. You are not held back by shame. You are held together by grace. And grace will carry you forward. To all that I have prepared. To all that you have yet to see. To the restoration that turns ashes into altars. And mourning into music. And loss into life. You've been through fire. You've walked through waters. You've faced nights that felt endless. But look at you. Still standing. Still reaching. Still listening for my voice. That is victory. That is faith. That is the soil from which restoration springs. You don't need to do anything grand. You don't need to force the next chapter. Just stay open. Just stay near. Just let me be the shepherd I've always been. I will lead you beside still waters. I will anoint your head with oil. I will restore your soul. Even now, as you listen, something is shifting. The fear is loosening its grip. The sadness is softening. The light is returning. Not as a flash, but as a slow sunrise, sure, gentle, unstoppable. This is how I work. This is how I restore. And it is happening now. Not in the next season. Not after you fix yourself. Now, because you are already chosen. Already known. Already loved enough for everything I have planned to begin. So let it begin. Let restoration rise like dawn. There is nothing too broken for me. No scar too deep. No silence too long. I am not bound by your limits. I move through the impossible. And I speak over your story. It is not too late. Not too late for love. Not too late for freedom. Not too late for a new beginning. Even now, I am restoring what you thought was permanently gone. dreams you let die, parts of you forgot how to feel, desires you buried because they hurt too much to carry. I'm bringing them back, not to haunt you, but to heal you. You will want again, not fearfully but fully. You will ask again, not anxiously but boldly. You will believe again, not because of what you see, but because of who I am. This is restoration. This is resurrection. This is what I do. I make all things new. And you, my beloved, you are next. Watch, wait, worship, and witness what only I can do. I will restore what was lost, and give you more than you knew to ask for. You've been faithful in the small things. Faithful in heartbreak. Faithful in obscurity. Faithful in seasons that didn't make sense. And I saw it all. I counted every unseen act of love. Every silent yes. Every quiet surrender. None of it was wasted. All of it was seed. And now, I say, it's time for harvest. It's time to see what I've been growing under the surface. Not in the spotlight. Not in the noise. But in the soil of your obedience. You thought you were buried. You were being planted. And now the roots have taken hold. Now the fruit will begin to show. Because I am restoring not just what was lost, but what you never even knew was yours. Inheritance, favor, peace that passes understanding. I restore by giving more. Not just back. I restore by expanding what was once confined. And you, child, are no longer bound. You are free. Free to rise. Free to dance. Free to step forward into everything I said was yours. So do it with joy. Do it without fear. Because I go before you. There is more restoration ahead. You've seen the beginning. You've tasted the first fruits. But there is more. So much more. More healing. More clarity. More strength. More intimacy with me. Do not stop here. Do not settle for partial when I promised full. You were not made for fragments. You were made to flourish. So let me continue. Let me in deeper. Let me touch the places you still keep hidden. The ones you've accepted as just the way it is. Because even those can be restored. Even those can be made new. Nothing is off limits when love leads. And I am leading in love. I am walking with you. Not rushing you. Not pushing. Just gently calling. Inviting. Welcoming you into wholeness. And you don't have to know how to get there. You just have to take the next step. And the next. And trust that I will carry what you can't. Restore what you couldn't. And redeem what you never thought possible. So breathe. Let this be your exhale. The release of every fear that said you wouldn't recover. The letting go of every lie that said you were too far gone. You are not. You are here. And I am here with you. Whispering truth over every falsehood. Speaking life into every dead dream. Pouring love into every dry place. I will restore what was lost, not as a transaction, but as a declaration of who I am. The faithful one. The restorer of ruins. The builder of beauty from ashes. You've waited long, but I have waited longer. Waited for the moment you'd believe again. And here we are. So lift your heart, even if it still hurts. Lift your eyes, even if they still weep. And lift your hope, even if it feels fragile. I am not done. I never was. And now, I begin again, in you. With you. Through you. Watch what I will do. I will restore what was lost.